Hey guys, so today I have a new guitar to show you guys. So this is the Magneto Starlux SL4300. It's by a company that not many people might not know. So Magneto Guitars is a French company that designs guitars, and they started fairly recently, I believe, within the last 10 years, basically, I would say. And yeah, this is their newest model. It just came out. And when I saw this, I was like, whoa, this is a really cool design, right? I have to try it. I mean, I looked at some of their other designs, and they seem very derivative of a Fender, like Stratocaster or Telecaster. I mean, their most famous artist endorsee is probably Eric Gales, and Eric Gales plays basically like a Strat-inspired model. So their other models didn't really intrigue me much, but because to me they were just like derivatives of Fender guitars. But this one is pretty unique. It doesn't really look like any Fender guitar I know. It's kind of almost like a combination of a Strat or a Tele, but it's just pretty unique in its own way. So that's why this model intrigued me. Yeah, it's called the Starlux. It has a very interesting Art Deco type of design. As you can see, it's definitely like Art Deco to me. So very interesting design. Didn't cost it wasn't really expensive. I mean, it's not cheap, but it wasn't really expensive either. It's like $1,000 US, which is pretty much around the sweet spot, I would say, for electric guitar. I mean, you can find really cheap electric guitars. You can obviously also find really expensive electric guitars. $1,000 is a pretty competitive price point where you're competing with kind of the lower end, Mexican-made Fenders, and you're competing with Epiphones and Gresha's Electromatics. And you're competing with some Ibanez guitars as well, and yeah, it's a very competitive price point, I would say, around $1,000 bucks. But this guitar to me it's pretty unique and interesting. I guess some Reverend guitars as well around $1,000 bucks, and I was also thinking about getting a Reverend, but this design is actually more unique to me than any Reverend model I've seen. So yeah, very beautiful looking guitar. Actually, they have 3 different finishes. This is the one that was most interesting to me. It was Midnight Silver finish. The other ones are okay, but this Midnight Silver one I saw and immediately had to get. So yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like a combination of some features of a Gibson with obviously most of the design is taken from a Fender type of guitar. So anyways, yeah, let's go over this guitar. First of all, I'm not sure where it's exactly made in. It doesn't say where it's made in. If you look at their high-end guitars, so Magneto Guitars also makes really high-end, handmade custom guitars, and those are made in Japan. Senko Japan, actually. This one, I'm not sure if it's made in Japan or not. If it is, it's a really good deal, because $1,000 you usually cannot find made in Japan guitars. If you look at the Fender made in Japan guitars, those are usually at least $1,500. If you look at Japanese brands like Yamaha or Ibanez, their made in Japan guitars are also around 1,500 and up. So $1,000 for a made in Japan guitar would be actually a really good deal. But I'm not sure. How did they hit this price point then if it's made in Japan? I have a feeling it's some of the parts may be finished in Japan, but it's maybe put together in China or something. So I'm not sure. It doesn't say where it's made in, but. If they managed to hit $1,000 price point while being made in Japan, that's impressive. But I think it might be actually made in China for this price. Because my Gresh Electromatic, that was actually made in China, and it's around the same price as this. And most guitars around $1,000, it's going to be made in China, actually. So that's what I'm thinking is made in China. You won't find made in Japan for this price. But just going over the appearance of the guitar exterior first. So this is the Magneto guitar logo right here. As you can see, it's very similar to a Fender in terms of the overall design. So yeah, the headstock is very reminiscent of a Fender. Tuners are actually locking tuners, which is pretty cool. At this price point, you get locking tuners. And most Fender guitars at this price point, you won't get locking tuners. So the nut is a bone nut, and the neck overall is maple, but it's got a rosewood fretboard, as you can see. So yeah, rosewood fretboard, and it's a 12-inch radius neck. So it's fairly flat, so it should be easy to bend strings on and stuff. The body overall is made of basswood. So basswood is, I mean, overall it's not that heavy, but it's not that light either. It's about the same as a Strat. So yeah, Strat or Tele, so around 7.5 pounds, I would say, is what this guitar weighs. So fairly similar to your Alder bodies and stuff like that for Fender. So yeah, typical Fender type of weight. The pickups are interesting. They're Magneto's own design. So these pickups look like Filtertrons. They look like Gresh Filtertron humbuckers, but they're actually, the tone, I think, from what they said, is between a Gibson humbucker and a Gresh Filtertron. So it's kind of like in between. I don't think it's quite as jangly, or it's not like the Gresh Filtertrons have this really jangly and sparkling high end, and Gibson humbuckers or PAFs usually have that, you know, that mid range, that low end. So yeah, these pickups are kind of in between, I guess. They're not as powerful as a Gibson humbucker, but they not exactly have the high end of a Gresh Filtertron. So maybe somewhere in between. I'm interested to try these out because these are Magneto's own design. And then the pickup selector switch is a Gibson style. So you have the up position is the neck, middle position both pickups on, bottom position is bridge only. So that's like a more Gibson style, I guess, because Les Pauls have that. And pretty simple controls, just one master volume and one master tone. So pretty simple to operate. The bridge is a Bigsby style bridge. It's not exactly a Bigsby. It looks like it's not licensed by Bigsby, so it doesn't actually have the Bigsby name on it. But it is a Bigsby style, so it looks very similar to like a Bigsby style bridge, which means you can kind of pull up a little bit on it, and you can also press down on it, but it's not going to be as compared to a Stratocaster tremolo bridge. You're not going to be able to do like dive bombs and stuff on it. So yeah, with a Strat, obviously, like a lot of players like Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen have been able to do like dive bombs and stuff on that. But you don't do that with this kind of bridge. With a Bigsby style bridge, it's only for like some light vibrato. Yeah, so you just don't do any crazy stuff with it. Should be fine. And it's a semi-hollow, as you can tell by the F-hole. On the back here, it's got like kind of this recessed neck heel, which is pretty nice for comfort. So normally, again, Fenders around the $1,000 range don't have this. If they have a sculpted neck heel, it's usually in their higher end American models. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, this guitar was really nicely set up when I bought it. And not only that, but it also came with a gig bag. So this is the gig bag it came with, which, you know, for $1,000, it's not bad. I mean, a lot of guitars for $1,000, like my Gresh Electromatic, didn't even come with a gig bag. So the fact that the Magneto included a gig bag, I mean, pretty nice of them, right? So it comes with Allen key, basically. I think this is to adjust the truss rod. In case you need to adjust the intonation of the guitar, you have that. You can adjust the truss rod. And they have this certificate of authenticity here as well. So yeah, it says, so I'd like to personally congratulate you on purchase of your Magneto U1 guitar. It actually says the body is Alder here, which is interesting because on the website it says that this is built using basswood. So is it Alder or basswood? Anyways, this says Alder on the actual certificate, but the website says basswood, so I don't know. Then of course maple neck with a Rosewood fingerboard. It was built, actually serial number, it's obviously built this year, but I wonder if the serial number corresponds with the date as well. So if I go by the serial number, it was built in April 14th of this year. So yeah, the technical model is the SL4300. But yeah, it's cool. It comes with a certificate of authenticity, and it comes with a gig bag, which is something that's a nice extra. Not all guitars at this price range come with a gig bag. Yeah, obviously expensive guitars will come with a hard shell case, but gig bag is cool. I'll take it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You have this like two-nomatic saddles, which or bridge. This is pretty much the same as what you'll see on Gibson style guitars. So it's really like an interesting combination, mostly Fender style design, but then you have these Gibson type components right here. Like the bridge here is very Gibson, the pickup selector is very Gibson or Gresh, and these pickup design is more similar to like a Gresh, like a Filtertron. So interesting. It's like almost a combination of a bunch of different designs, but overall the silhouette and the overall design is definitely more like a Fender. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna test it out. Output jack is here as you would expect, just like on a Telecaster. So yeah, gonna check it out. I have a Swart Atomic Junior guitar amp right here. This is a 5-watt Class A tube amp, all hand wired. And this has, I like this amp because it's a good amp to practice with. Light, easy to carry. It's got an 8-inch speaker and it's got built-in reverb, which is nice. So yeah, I'll be using that amp to demo. Alright, so now I have the guitar plugged into the amp. I'm just going to be playing a few riffs or just jamming around, show you guys the sound of this guitar. And oh yeah, it's double cutaway. It's similar to a Strat and it has a bolt-on neck. It's definitely more like a Fender type design. So yeah, let's check out the sound of these Filtertron looking pickups. I have both pickups selected right now, and obviously turning down the master volume. You don't hear anything. Turning it up. If you turn the tone down, it definitely sounds muddier. I actually don't know why. Like, I don't get the point of these tone controls on guitars. Like, I always turn it up to max. I don't know how many guitarists actually utilize the tone control, but for me, I don't really use the tone control very much. For me, I always just turn it up to max. But I guess let's turn it up in the middle somewhere. Still doesn't really sound as good. Like, I always turn it up to max, right? So I don't know why. I don't know what other people do, but I personally never really use the tone control on a guitar. I always just leave it on max. But yeah, the sound of these humbuckers, I think. Yeah, they're definitely humbuckers. They're definitely closer to Filtertrons. They're not exactly Filtertrons. They don't have the same high end as the Filtertron does. Doesn't have that same, you know, clarity or top jangly chime. But it is definitely sounding closer to Filtertrons than PAFs. PAFs or P90s will definitely sound darker. They have more mid-range. So they definitely sound closer to a Filtertron than a PAF or Gibson type humbucker. Pretty nice sounding pickups and a neck only. Bridge only. So I have my amp set to volume set to 7, tone set to 7, and the reverb set to 5. This amp has pretty lush reverb for something this size. Alright, I'm gonna turn on some overdrive so you guys can hear the high gain sound. So I'm gonna turn on the Wampler Tumnus, which is a Klon type overdrive. Klon overdrives are pretty famous in the guitarist circles. So anyways, this is yeah, set to noon. Already, because this is a small amp, it's a small tube amp, it's already being overdriven. So it doesn't take much to drive it. Because I only have everything set to about noon, and the Tumnus, which is a Klon type overdrive, doesn't really have that much gain. It's like a medium gain, not like a fuzz, but it's sounding like a fuzz right now. So I guess it's really pushing the tube amp, and these pickups might not be that low output if they're pushing it like that. The bridge pickup definitely has more output because the string vibration energy is less near the bridge, so bridge pickups always usually higher output on guitars to compensate. And it's feeding back fairly easily because it's semi-hollow, so... I'm close to the amp, I guess, and it's semi-hollow, so... Yeah, pretty easily. Nice, alright. Okay, I see. Oh yeah, another thing I noticed is that the string tree is actually pretty cool. It's like it's different than a Fender string tree. It's like their own kind of unique like little string tree on their headstock right there. It's pretty cool. Just something I noticed when I'm playing. All right, I'm gonna dial back the gain. So that was the overdriven sound. Now we just have more of a clean boost type of tone. Interesting. When I turn down the volume knob, it actually gets darker. Okay, so I pretty much always have to keep it on full volume then, because I lose the top end when I turn down the volume. That's not good. Pretty easily. Okay, I'm just gonna play like a jam now. track here. Let's see. No, this one. Too easy feedback. Also, I really like these fingerboard inlays here. As you can see, it's kind of done in a star pattern. So actually you have like arrows right here, like kind of like spaceships. And then you have like this star right here, right around the 12th fret. So that's pretty cool actually. Nice touch with the fingerboard inlays. I've never seen that before. Very nice. Pickups are nice. I'm not sure if I really like them, but they're pretty nice pickups overall. Just yeah, I get into instant fuzz territory when I use the overdrive pedal. Okay, anyways guys, that's the Magneto Starlux. Pretty interesting guitar, definitely it's definitely inspired by Fender type of designs, but it's its own unique design that stands on its own as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this guitar. Yeah, this I think it's a pretty cool guitar, and it looks very high quality as well. It's got this nice sparkle finish. It's not just like a matte finish; it's got sparkling sparkles on this finish as well. So yeah, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but and it's got some nice higher end features you normally don't see on guitars, like $1,000 range. So it's got like the locking tuners, for example, and the sculpted neck heel. Those are features you normally don't find on $1,000 budget guitars. But yeah, it's a pretty nice guitar. This new guitar model by Magneto. Yes, I know, with the X-Men jokes and stuff like that, Magneto, right? But no, seriously, this is a nice guitar. Yeah, company may not be as well known, but you know, I'm always willing to give these small builders a chance, and some of these guitar designs are pretty nice. So that's it, guys. Magneto Starlux. Let me know what you guys think of this guitar, and as always, thanks for watching.